Hello, my name is Simon and welcome to Big Orbit Games unboxing video of the Star Wars Armada Wave 1 Rebel Fighter Squadrons expansion. See, this comes in a clamshell package. Shows you the sleeves that you need and the nice Disney logo there. Because it's clamshell, I have pre-cut one. Because otherwise they're a bit awkward to get into in a rush. So, I'll open this up. So, inside here you have the backing, which gives you the components list, shows you everything that comes in there. So you get 8 different squadrons. We've already seen the X-Wing in the core set, but we now get the B-Wing, Y-Wing and A-Wing, as well as character pilots for each of them. So let's open this up. So as always, there are lots of tokens in here, because everything needs tokens. So you have the squadron discs and the sliders to activate them there. They've got little reminders on them of what their abilities are, so heavy and bomber, for example, and X-Wing's escort. And on the flip side, you get the character versions. More on that when we go to them in a bit. On this one, you have a couple more squadron discs for the A-Wings, identifying markers, and the defense tokens needed for the characters. You can see pretty much all of them have brace, apart from the one scatter. So you get everything you need there, there's no excess at all. And then we'll move on to the actual cards. So, you get 8 cards in total. So here's the Etching Squadron. We've seen these previously in the core set. Bomber and escort, 4 anti-squadron dice, 1 red for ships, 5 hull and 3 speed. So nice all-rounders. The X-Wings, they can deal damage out heavily to squadrons as well as to ships. We then have the character X-Wing pilot, Wedge Antilles. Not like his X-Wing counterpart, unfortunately, but he still has the bomber and escort ability as X-Wings do, with 2 added braces. And he has an ability which, while attacking an activated squadron, you may add 2 blue dice to your attack pool. So his anti-squadron fighter power becomes 6 blue dice. He also upgrades or changes his anti-ship dice to a black dice, which higher damage but higher risk. And he comes in at 6 points more than a normal X-Wing. We then have the Y-Wing Squadron. So traditionally a bomber, and they carry this here. So they've got bomber and heavy. The heavy is they don't prevent engaged squadrons from attacking ships or moving. So while engaged with an X-Wing, your opponent's squadrons can still carry on and attack other ships or carry on moving. They've got 6 hull, so a little bit more survivable. Same speed as an X-Wing, with only 2 blue dice anti-squadron and a black dice for the anti-ship. But because of bomber, their crits do affect ships, so the black dice becomes a bit nicer. And the character one is Dutch Vander. So exactly the same stats as normal Y-Wing, but with a double brace added. He comes in at 6 points more, and for that you get his ability, which is when a squadron you attack suffers at least 1 damage, you can toggle its activation slider to activated, and if it already was, it suffers an additional damage instead. So it's effectively the ion turret is what you're getting there, it's the ion ability. That combos nicely with Wedge. So you move in with Dutch, attack the squadron, force it to be marked as activated, then Wedge gets to swing in and do 6 blue dice of damage to them. So you can effectively use these two as like a sniping combo, taking out opposing character squadrons. We now have the A-Wing, which is effectively the Rebels' interceptor ship. Speed of 5, the fastest you can go, but only 4 hull, and with 3 blue dice, and then 1 black anti-ship dice, so high risk dice for anti-ship. 3 blues nice, same as a TIE fighter, but it does have the new counter 2 ability. So after a squadron attacks it, as long as it's not on a counter attack, you get to attack back with 2 blue dice, even if the A-Wing was destroyed. So these work well, like I said, as an intercepting role, taking out opposing enemy squadrons, and at speed 5 they can nip around the board very easily. For the character, we have Tyco. Same stat line as the normal A-Wing, but with the ability, you're not prevented from moving or attacking ships while you're engaged. So, and he gains the scatter and brace defense tokens. So scatter allows you to cancel all dice results, cancel all dice fired at him. So he's definitely going to be shooting around the board, engaging where he feels it's best to be. And it's only a 5-point upgrade from a normal A-Wing, so it's not too expensive. We then have the B-Wing Squadron. So it's a bit slow, at just 2 speed, but it's got 5 hull, so it survives quite nicely. 3 anti-ship blue dice, anti-squadron blue dice, but its anti-ship is a blue and black dice. So it can, with the bomber ability allowing its criticals to affect ships, it can do a nice tidy amount of damage to enemy ships. It is what it should be, which is the heavy bomber role designed for taking out capital ships. At just 14 points, it's not too expensive either. And for the character, B-Wing, we have Kane Farlander. So, same stats as a normal B-Wing, except his anti-ship is upgraded to 2 black dice. And while attacking a ship, if the defending hull zone has no shields, you can re-roll any dice in your pool. Now he comes in at 20 points, which is quite high for a squadron. But with 2 black dice that are re-rollable, nice considering black dice have blank facings. He's definitely going to be a thorn in the side of any capital ship he engaged, especially if he's been backed up with more B-Wings. Obviously, these models, these ships, squadrons need to be represented somehow on the board, and for that, you get the little models for them. And these things are tiny, so I'll try and show you the best I can. So you get them all in one pack. See loads in there. So what I'm going to do, just going to open this up. There we go. And then I'll pop a couple on stands to show you. So you get a variety of different stands in here, which is good. I know I'm going to be mixing squadrons, I know, taboo, but I just want to get you to see these ships. Oh, and the Y-Wing, because these are ever so tiny. So there we go. There's 3 of the ships. So the X-Wing is the same as the one from the core set. So the mould looks the same. A-Wing's nice. There's not a huge amount of detail, but then they are only little models. You don't expect much from them. And again, same with the Y-Wing. I think they look quite nice, though. They perfectly represent the ships that they are. I've seen some people do some beautiful custom paint jobs on these, because they are just currently bare beige plastic, which is a shame. But I've seen some very talented people do some beautiful paint jobs on them. And the B-Wing, I think, is the nicest, because this one isn't just flat on the stand, it shows you the gyroscopic cockpit that the B-Wings have. So they come in at a nice angle on there. As you see, it's fairly well detailed actually, this one. Lots of nice little nooks and crannies and stuff. Go. So you get enough to fill 2 squadrons of each. So you get 6 of each ship in total, which are now scattered everywhere all over this table. And yeah, you get lots of different types of the fight stands in there as well. So you can array them nice and differently. So yeah, I think the Rebel Fighters expansion adds a lot. Currently, with just the core set, the fighters aren't used a huge, squadrons aren't used a huge amount, because they can't really deal that much damage to the ship, just an X-Wing. They can if they're left completely on their own, but they're too easy to take out. But now with having access to things like A-wings and B-wings, so they can go in and deal some heavy damage whilst being defended. I think Squadron's going to see a lot more play now in Armada. It'll be interesting to see some nice combination lists which utilise them. As you see, some of the new upgrade cards also improve the way they work. As I've showed you earlier, there was a nice little combination between some of the characters as well. So that is the Rebel Fighters expansion. Remember, everything you've seen here today you can order off of bigorbitcards.co.uk. My name is Simon, and join me later when I'll be opening up more of the Wave 1 expansions, including the Imperial Fighters pack. Bye!